When I ask people about their high school experience, they say, yeah, it was good or bad, but they never talk about it from the content. They talk about it from the people that they were with. They say, yeah, it was good because I had good friends and I had good support system. Or they say, it was bad, there's too much drama, and maybe there was a bully here and there. So why do we never talk about the content? We always talk about the people that we're surrounded by. And that is why, as an educator, my main vision is to create a positive classroom environment. You see, when I was in school, I would sit down, I would shut up, and I would listen to the teacher talk. I craved voice. I craved creativity that I never quite had. And after talking to some people around me, I realized, hey, you want the same thing too. So it wasn't until I went to a technical school for TV video where all of a sudden everyone's collaborating with each other. We have producers talking to writers, talking to directors, and everyone is collaborating and everyone is being creative. All of a sudden, I was thrilled to go to school. I enjoyed it. So what was the difference? Well, I think the main difference was that there was a community there. It was all peer supported and it encouraged creativity. So I think our public education system, it's pretty good compared to the world. However, we're not reaching our potential and we need to. And so I think we live in a world where most of our physiological needs are met. And so now we need to focus on the psychological needs. And so I would like to do that through something called nonviolent communication. Nonviolent communication has changed my life personally. The premise of it is if I can effectively communicate my needs, and if I can effectively understand the other person's needs, well, then we will naturally work together to meet each other's needs. And so the goal is to get rid of misinterpretation. And I've used this in my life. I've been able to have conversations with friends and family that I never thought I could from the beginning. I have been able to teach it to my friends who have used it with their friends. I have been able to use it in relationships. I have been able to teach in after-school programs, and I want to continue teaching this in an education setting as well. So all of this is great, but I want to push it through an intrinsic motivation platform. And what would that look like? Intrinsic motivation. That means giving the students autonomy. How would they like to approach a project? What project would they like to tackle in the first place? Through purpose? Well, if the students are engaged in real community problems, the purpose pretty much answers itself there. And then mastery as well. And so mastery might look like something through routines. There'd be a lot of routines with reflection, so self-reflection, peer reflection. There would be routines maybe through debates, Socratic seminars. How can we learn to talk to one another? And if, in any setting, how can you have a claim and back it by evidence and have reasoning with it? And so there would be routines built with that to eventually create a flow. So this is all great, but where does the content come from? Well, I got to start off by saying I do love online resources. Online resources are great. It pretty much has the world's, the humans' information in the pocket. I could put it in my hand right now. It's in a phone, the internet. There's so many resources around it, but most of it comes through experience. So experience can happen inside a room, yes, but experience can happen outside. There's a whole world out there. There's an experience from your front yard to the mountains to right in front of you to halfway across the world. Experience is everywhere. And so how can we get the students to engage with their senses? How can we get them to talk to one another, to reflect on everything? I can go on tangents about these different visions that I have. But if I could walk away with one thing, it's this. I would like to create a classroom community that is supported by intrinsic motivation and has real-world applications. I don't want someone to just walk away from high school saying, yes, I had a good experience. But I want them to say, you know what? I'm learning from my high school experience, and I'm continuing to learn every day from that. That's what I want.